How many? There's no right or wrong answer. How many people are? I know you're all registered with XOXO, so you could be in this room. But how many of you, in addition to that, are fans of Harmontown, the podcast?
Hey, that's
not
nice.
that many actually. All right. Well, we should really be more on our game than we have been the last half hour. I apologize. I thought I was most of these people are like, when's he going to talk about Pascal programming? I'm sorry. I'm not going to. When's he going to talk about any kind of innovation in any sort of medium? I want to meet somebody from Portland. I don't know if there's any of those people here, but and I think we have to be more specific than that. We want to reward. Usually at Harmontown, what we do is we bring up people who have traveled the farthest, but that would be kind of pointless here because we've traveled. So I want to meet a Portland person. And but how do you pick the right Portland person to talk to? Sorry, what? Whoever's closest to this geographic point. All right, we invert the whole thing. Okay, who lives the closest to this abandoned steel mill? We have some hands here. I'm going to vet you. I have no way of proving it, but what's your name?
Stephanie. I live at 18th and Morrison, so I'm about 10 blocks away.
18th and Morrison, 10 blocks away.
10
Who can
blocks.
beat? I got 10 blocks away. 10 blocks away. I got 10 blocks. 18th and Morrison. Pink hair, lady in the pink hair. How close do you live?
6th and Cooch.
6th and Cooch. I got 6th and Cooch here. Sounds disgusting, but also intimately close. 6th and Cooch. I got 6th and Cooch here. Anybody close to the 6th and Cooch? I got a friend with blue hair pointing at just randomly. Oh, pointing. Okay. All right, coming over there. 6th and Cooch. 6th and Cooch. Sounds closer than 18th and Morrison for no reason. For all I know, we're on 17th and Mora Cooch. All right. Purple hair. Where do you live?
13th and Salmon.
13th and Salmon. All right. I'll take your word for it. Sounds familiar. I think the word salmon. I think we're on salmon or something.
Yeah.
All right. What's your name, young lady? McKenna. Are you willing to come up and talk to us? We don't pick on people. It's not like I'm not like Jim Norton or. Okay. Also, I already forgot your name because I get nervous. McKenna. That's your first name?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of weird. Most people use it as their last name. It's fine.
Let's give a round of applause to McKenna, everybody.
You can take that mic and have a seat. Are you allowed to drink?
Yeah.
Do you want to drink?
I'm not drunk enough right now.
You're 21?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want a vodka? That's all we have.
That would be amazing.
All right, so we have a basin of molten steel in the back too.
Okay.
I can make you
together.
iron pants. Hey, Elizabeth, can you make McKenna a drink? Elizabeth is our drink maker for the evening.
Thank you.
She also happens to be dating our producer, Dustin Marshall, but I swear to God, you can get this job just by working hard. It's an egalitarian meritocracy
Definitely.
at Harmontown. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't absolutely replace her.
No foam head on that. It's all foamless.
If you talk to her after the show, within your conversation, feel her out for weaknesses. See if you can figure out a way to get in there.
This is my ultimate weakness happening at the moment.
What is it?
What is that?
Being in front of a ton of people.
Oh yeah.
Same here.
No, I hate it too.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah. Well, you'll get used to it. You have to just picture them in your underwear.
Okay.
And then they're like uncomfortable because they're like, these haven't been washed in.
Well, that's mean. She probably washes her underwear. Come on.
Oh yeah, picture them in my underwear. So McKenna, it's gonna take me a while to get used to that.
Yeah.
One of your
like,
best friends is called McKenna.
I know, that's why it's like McKenna. Like I want you to like take a bullet for me. I don't want to treat you nice.
I'll consider it. We'll see how this conversation goes.
Okay. All right. So McKenna, so what do you think of those people over on Cooch?
Um,
Seem kind of entitled.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm closer than
Cooch.
Morrison. Everybody pay attention to me.
At least the worst is when people say couch, though.
Oh.
That's how you like know they're.
Is it spelled couch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's the New York.
I've never seen the sign.
It's the New York Houston trap.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Houston?
And then if you don't say Houston, then you know,
Houston.
fuck this guy. Kick him out of New York.
Yeah.
His crystal on his palm starts blinking. Houston. They take you up and they drop you into the Statue of Liberty's torch. Same with Edinburgh, Scotland. Edinburgh.
Well, you say it like butter. You go Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Anyways, McKenna. So, how long have you lived in Portland?
Around 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, since you were 3.
Yeah.
So you moved here from where?
I'm from Oregon.
Right.
So
you're still in Oregon.
An hour south of here.
All right. Oh, so you were like me in Wisconsin. You were born in a vat in the suburbs, kind of like somewhere in a basement.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
Your parents hit you
In
with
a
a belt
test
and then
tube.
sent you like moved to the city.
Yeah.
All right. And said, I'm gonna show all of you. Madison. The guy just yelled out. Yes, that is a city in Wisconsin. I think that's the guy that read me the pitch on the. I can't tell. I don't think so. It's bright. The lights are bright, but. I mean, you haven't lived until, and then he's just reciting it, and then he was like, "Hey, I figured, what the hell?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what could it hurt you to read me a pitch?"
I don't have a pitch for you.
Thank you.
So.
There's going to be a gunshot from the back, and my career is going to be over for the dumbest reason in the world.
Not because you're dead, though, right?
No, because
Because the other guy is.
Because the other guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Trying to keep track here.
Have you ever listened to this podcast?
I have.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So my fiance and I have been to Portland now probably I think between us 5 times. The last time it got pretty severe, the Portland thing, where it gets in your blood.
You're into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
happens.
We want to move here, so I can't get a read on the Portland people, because usually the next thing that happens when you want to move to a city is you talk to somebody and they say, everyone feels that way, fuck off. The reason
It's
you
true.
feel that way is because nobody's moving here.
But you're a good example, because a lot of people come here now in the summertime and they're like, Portland's amazing. And then they actually move here and it's 10 months of shit.
All right. When you guys say shit, you mean my favorite thing in the world, which is Blade Runner weather.
Obviously I haven't left. Yeah.
Every day is Blade Runner. I don't want to walk around in a fucking awesome trench coat. And
I think the shitty weather creates cooler people, kind of. You go to somewhere sunny and people are all right, but you come here and everybody's maybe a little angsty, but creative and making things.
Well, the sun is. The thing is, when you go to a restaurant, there could be a culture where people say to you, you know, the best place to sit is right by the kitchen. The source of all restaurant things. That's where all the food is made. That's what the sun is. You don't want to sit near the kitchen. It's also where shit. It's a fucking fusion reactor in the sky. It's giving you cancer. It's it's burning your children. It hurts magnificent characters like Powder. Remember that guy? That guy's the best our planet can do. And he doesn't want the sun. You know who Powder is?
He didn't ask for it.
Yeah, he has psychic powers, and he's not. Yes, the sun technically, like the kitchen in a restaurant, it makes things happen. Yes, that's where the shrimp goes into the basket. I don't want the booth next to the fucking kitchen. I want to be in the dark corner. I want to be an
Minding your own
indirect
business.
result of the sun.
Yeah.
So
You appreciate the sun for what it did, but you don't need to like watch it all
Yes,
the
I'm a
time.
fan of the sun. It's like Paul Verhoeven. Like good job a while ago.
You did good. You did good.
And for that, I will never turn my back on you. The sun is the Quentin Tarantino of the solar system. It's like permanent decision made. I rely on you. I think you were amazing. You know, Kill Bill being a two-parter is fine if that's what comes with it. But does the rain get to you over time but you don't know because you were in Oregon already,
Oregon?
Yeah, that's a small violation. That's I didn't say Oregon. I said Oregon.
Oh, what?
I think that's what they were booing.
Gin?
It's
Okay.
cool.
I mean, that's a lame thing to hold your ground on. That's one vowel. What do you guys do to Canadians? I mean, I'm sure they come. They probably call it brigadoon here. That doesn't make any sense. But you were born under an umbrella.
Yeah.
So
it does though. Yeah.
Fucks with you.
Around like June when it's still like shitting on you, you start to get a little.
That's the June gloom, right?
Yeah. You start to get a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And right now everybody's very happy because they're like, oh, the sun's out and it's gonna start raining pretty soon.
And like the Oregonians I think about now are like, okay, I'm ready to start wearing coats again. Like people are very conflicted about now.
I just realized we've been talking about the weather in our podcast. I'm so sorry. I apologize. What's the opposite of the weather in conversation? Do you believe in God, McKenna? Let's just skip to why not.
Well, after today,
Yeah.
I'm questioning
Because
it.
he made it so wonderful that you're thinking of converting back to,
Something. I don't know.
were your parents religious?
No, not at all. I
Wait,
never went to church.
Did you resent them for not being religious?
No.
Come on, you wanted a little
happy
bit of
about
God.
it. I'm very open-minded because of it. It's good. Yeah.
So they were nice, intellectual parents.
Yeah, they let me go to church with like my friends, and I would go to church and be like, "Fuck, this is boring. Like, what is
And
happening?"
then you'd come home and they're like, I told you. I told you to
Good
go to
luck.
an orgy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fucking Portland.
They're sacrilegious here.
So what's the trying to think of the opposite of talking about the weather. What's the worst thing you've ever done to another human being?
That's a really hard question.
Yeah, I know. I asked that of a podcast guest at one point, and he immediately knew. And it was he made his brother drink his own pee by just he told him it was lemonade, and
I've definitely done a few things like that when I was little, or
Maybe.
like dirt mixtures that you give to like the neighbor girl, like.
no, you.
Oh, you want to
you're
play
using
Mario
the role
Kart?
you.
Here, drink this shit.
You know
like-
the thing where you make the girl eat the dirt. Like, no, you need to tell us about that. What
yeah, little hazing.
What's
Kid
the dirt?
hazing?
What's the dirt girl story? Because it's not universal.
I mean, that there was definitely a little girl that lived across the street from me who was like probably 5 years younger or something. So of course she was like super excited to hang out with the older, like, I'm so cool, you know, like hang out with the cool older girl. And it was like, you know, torture.
So your instinct to haze, you're like,
Yeah.
that's what we were just
Like,
talking about. People that
some-
like you, there must be something wrong with
Put
them.
some dirt with like vanilla flavoring and water in a cup and be like, here,
Eat
this
this.
is good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she ate it
Yeah. And then like would go home and cry.
because she ate dirt.
Yeah.
How old were you at that point?
Maybe like
23.
30, like 12-ish.
Yeah, that
maybe?
makes- I mean, that's-
I don't know. When you're like the biggest asshole.
Well, you
basically,
don't
like-
have, human people, we don't have like what we define as I don't know whether some people would call it morality, some people just call it a conscience. Like, we don't have that compass built into us. We're the most adaptable species on the earth. And you don't get there by having some ingrained thing that we won't do. Like, we'll do anything to anybody that our parents tell us is okay.
Yeah.
And we kind of like, we learn kind of over time. We're like, oh, you know what? Life is more fucked up if we keep doing shit that we just want to do and we don't start thinking about other people. But like 8-year-olds are sociopaths. They'll just like pull the wings off of shit and and what's unclear is, do they learn? Do they biologically hit a point where they're like, okay, I'm going to stop doing that, or do you just have to stop them? Like, you kind of want to like make a big iron cube, maybe in this steel mill, and like drop a bunch of human children into it, and just do a bunch of experiments. But then you'd realize, wait, maybe I'm doing this because I didn't learn how to be moral. I don't know. I know that your brain is made out of all these there's a biological capitalistic like board meeting in your brain every day where different departments of your brain kind of compete for resources. And so when you're a kid, like they say that if you raise a kid in an environment where it can't stand up, and I think we should all try this tonight. That if the kid comes out of that like 2-foot high crawl space at an age after their legs are fully able muscularly to walk, even if you like give them like regarding Henry physical therapy, they will never, because their brain, that part of their brain, the one that dedicates resources to motor function in their legs, has long ago been zoned out during some city board meeting in the brain. I was like, no, there is no need to walk. This person needs to navigate darkness and crawl hand over hand and change light bulbs or whatever they're doing down there. Telekinesis, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
So some people just realize how to only be an asshole when they're young.
I think that it's possible. I'd like to be more optimistic than this, but I think it's possible that compassion might be like facial recognition, walking, being good with feng shui. These might just be little talents we have, and being compassionate actually yields positive results, long term for kids on the playground, hopefully.
I'm sure it's that. Yeah, I don't think it's inherent.
But that's a bummer, though. That's like we're all like these empty canisters of just flesh that are just waiting to be either made into serial killers or saints.
Yeah, that's
and then
how
we
it
all
works.
land somewhere way between. It's a bummer.
I guess.
Or
think
is
it's
it
awesome?
But it's also it's kind of amazing at the same time, because then some people grow to be so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, is it?
Same
But
odds.
what about the lack of meaning to being amazing? Like, why is it?
Like it just happens at random.
But the randomness makes it beautiful. You're saying?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Why? Can you
It's like
can you
the
explain
roll
why?
of a die.
Yeah.
But why is that more beautiful? Why is
snowflake.
chaos more beautiful than purpose?
Because it's like the antithesis of everything we seek. It's like, oh, we're just going the wrong way about it. We just got to accept that it's randomness and derive meaning out of that. I think that's cool. Like, I mean, it's one thing to like catch on to a meaning that already exists. That's like seeing a bird, but it's another thing to like, I'm going to invent the bird. It's a common example, I think. We can all relate to creating our own fowl, right?
So
Poultry.
I don't know if I have the ability to articulate this. You're saying that if we accept that our nature is chaotic, we can achieve a meta order.
Yeah. Well, also just that, like, okay, so if it was predestined that I was supposed to just say, be here today, that's not very interesting. That's part of a list. There's a long list of things. Like, the fact that I'm here because of several crazy random factors that could never happen to anyone else just because of sheer probability and stuff, I find that amazing and more potentially miraculous than like someone with a plan making the rules for everything. I don't know.
Like our friendship is the result of a random occurrence. You came to the show and I said, is there a dungeon master here? And you raised your hand and now we're friends.
Yeah.
And more than friends, employees.
I also drive you. Yeah. I wear many hats.
But that same chaos means that I could have a strange happening in my brain that makes me lunge across the table and rip your face off because I think it's a sandwich.
Which is also really fascinating, right?
But you will die. Will you die going like, life, I'll take 3?
I don't think you can take 3. That's the problem, right?
All right, maybe that's my problem. I want to buy life in bulk.
Maybe it's just that I'm a dungeon master though, because everything I do is rolling dice. It's all randomness, and then when you start to understand that those same rules of dice rolling are just genetics and particle collisions, it's all just all these weird probabilistic things that happen. I think that's just like understanding the code to the universe.
And the idea that your brain is, while it's looking at the die rolls, is the result of a bunch of die rolls over billions of years and hundreds of billions of years. If you go, like the Big Bang forward, like random collisions turning into RNA, turning into primordial soup, turning into evolutionary Cold War, hot war between organisms, resulting in the biological weapon survival-wise that is your brain, that in addition to recognizing red apples and yellow bananas is able to recognize numbers on a die and create a game that is based on random numbers. So you're using the end result of a bunch of randomness to look at infantile randomness, simulations of fundamental randomness, and we have fun, and we pretend that there's order, we pretend that there's good guys and bad guys, and we seek meaning, but you can find peace by accepting that there is no meaning.
Yeah, and what you're talking about order is like the only order is what we add to it, it's what we're ordering around in the randomness. I think that's a cool part of it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.